What's good, everybody? This is GeekSet Radio in your ears once again. My name is Jet. I'm chilling here with my main man, Danny.
Newark Hip Hop guys back at you.
All right, so go back to our normal format this week. We'll kick it off with some tech news and stuff. RIM is they're trying, man. They're really trying.
Yeah, they dropped. Oh, hang on, because they dropped the RIM part, didn't they? They're just straight up BlackBerry now.
Yeah.
They're just straight up BlackBerry. They've been talking about this for a couple of months now. Their whole new launch, new redesign. They launched their first two new official, I guess we'll call them flagship phones, the Z10 and the Q10, with the Z10 being the high-end model and the Q10 being the lower model. I don't know how you feel about this.
Man, you know what? Honestly, I don't really care. I think it's too little, too late for them. I don't see how they're gonna, like, they have their own little, I guess, fan base, like people that stay faithful to them.
Yeah.
But everything that they're doing has already been done. Okay, they got touchscreen. All right, cool, whatever. But I don't know if it's enough to pull everybody who jumped ship to Apple or to Android or even now to Windows Phone over the last, we'll say, 2 years that BlackBerry's been pretty stale. I don't really see if anybody's going to be like, oh, shit, let me get rid of my iPhone 5 because this new BlackBerry joint about to drop.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's nothing innovative about this phone. It's literally their first full touch screen phone. The software, from what everybody's reporting in the hands-on, nothing stood out. And I don't know, like I said, the specs on the Z10 are 4.2 inches, 1280 by 786 display, 1.5 dual-core Snapdragon S4, LTE. Like, none of that stands out to be, it's not the biggest, the fastest, the lightest phone, nothing. They're pretty much riding on the BlackBerry 10 software. It's going to cost $200. The price is all right, but I mean, they had to price it like that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They had to price it like that. That's the one thing I'll give them. At least they were in Microsoft and just went ham on the prices. They priced the thing right, but it's like you said, they fell so far behind that right now it's pretty much impossible to go for number 1 and 2, Android and iOS. The third spot, I mean, you can say Windows has that now, but that's shaky at best. And, they could maybe make a run for that, but at this point with this, like I said, they're staying at 4th, which is what they are pretty much now.
But I don't even know, coming this fall, we're going to have those Ubuntu devices that are coming out. So I don't really even know where they fit in. I feel like right now BlackBerry is the odd man out, so to speak. I don't know, man. I feel like it's, like I said, it's too little too late. Now, if this was 2006, 2007, then I was like, well, all right, they doing some things. But now, I don't see it, man. I mean, I hope I'm wrong just because I like competition and everything like that, but I don't know. I think their OS is stale. Hardware-wise, it seems okay. It's got a dual core, which is pretty much, we only have, 2 quad-core phones that are out on the market right now. So, that's not too bad. The display looks nice. And the 4.2-inch, that's pretty nice. But I saw what it looks like, and it seems, like, weird shaped. I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's, like, long. It's almost like the iPhone 5 shape, where it's kind of, more long than it is wide. So, I don't know. I don't know. I wish I could say I was excited over it, but I'm not.
And I haven't seen no talk about an app store neither.
That's going to be the other thing. We were just talking, you and I were just talking a minute ago about the lack of apps now, submission-wise from developers for Windows 8. How is it going to be for BlackBerry now? Everybody, if you were developing apps for BlackBerry in 2007, chances are you didn't stick around with them for, 4 or 5 more years, waiting for them to drop something new. Chances are you moved along to be an Android developer or an iOS developer, or, you know what I mean? So I don't know if the interest even from developers is going to be there. Even from a corporate standpoint, now that Samsung's got, enterprise security on theirs, and, iOS is naturally secure in itself, everybody's switching to, iPhones and stuff for business phones. So I don't really even know what niche BlackBerry's going to have for themselves now.
And they were offering, they were offering, and I know this offer was still valid, like 2, I forget if it was like 2 or $3,000 for giving developers. Like, you develop an app and you throw it. They were literally giving like $2,000 per app that people submitted. But again, I think that's what this whole system is gonna ride on their comeback. Because they got the software right, they got the price right, and that's cool. It's not too difficult to do nowadays. But it's really what type of experience, type of end user experience you can provide. And I haven't heard nothing you were saying right now about the whole enterprise section. That's what they used to have before, and that's why they were so popular. But I feel, over the years they've lost. And again, they have their first touchscreen phone with the Z10, but they also have their standard Q10, which has the keyboard on it. And, a lot of people arguing. I'll pretty much give them this title: nobody makes keyboard phones like BlackBerry, like RIM. They do. They used to make the best ones, and this one seems to have a pretty solid keyboard. It seems to keep the old design of like the keyboarded BlackBerries. And the specs on this little guy are 3.1 inch, 720 by 720. I don't even see a processor on this one right here. But it's a lower end model, so you're not expecting nothing too crazy. And this was to keep us. There still are people out there that use Blackberries, so I think this was to keep them happy.
Yeah, most likely. But like I said, it's it's a little too late for all of that. Like everybody wants to have a BlackBerry or wanted to have BlackBerry. It's like I said. I wonder, just out of like a raw percentage wise, how many people. How many people just were like, you know what, fuck it, I'm done with BlackBerry. I'm not, I held on to my whatever I had, for 2 years. I love the keyboard, but I need a new phone, so I'm gonna go get an iPhone. I don't know. I think that their brand suffered because they didn't do shit.
And I don't understand why. Like I remember, when Android first came out. Remember, BlackBerry was established way before Android was established. And fucking, I just didn't understand why. Somebody over there must have said, no, this whole touchscreen phone shit's just gonna be a fad. Somebody must have thought that over there. I bet you they got fired a long time ago. But somebody must have thought that, like, why not just come out with an all touchscreen BlackBerry and fucking rock? Because they could have rolled the wave. They could have rolled the wave. Just imagine at what point they would have been at now. If when, a year after the first iPhone came out, they're releasing all touchscreen BlackBerry.
Like I said, if this was 2007, it'd be all good. But I don't know. I guess only time will tell. We'll have to come back to this in the summertime and see. Do they have an expected launch date for this?
In the next couple of months.
Next couple of months.
Next couple of months coming out. We should start
probably in the spring.
Yeah.
All right. So keeping BlackBerry in mind, their other device, and I'm still trying to figure out what the hell this thing is. The Q10.
Yeah, the Q10. I was saying right now. That's the smaller end. I think I found the processor on here.
Okay.
It's hang on.
I just saw the picture for it. Like I was, for some reason, I thought that the other device that they made, I thought it was different. I know the touchscreen one, but I thought they had released 3.
No,
for some reason.
I think it was just these two, the Z10, the Q10. The Q10 has a 1.5 dual core, 2 gigabytes of RAM. A little mid-end device there.
I guess business people.
Yeah. No price on this one yet, but if the other one costs $250, 200, this one should probably go on 100 for a 2-year contract, if that.
Yeah, it's got a Super AMOLED screen.
Hey.
Some people are just so stuck on having a physical keyboard. Like I was reading that thread on the Collie a little whiles back, and people were like in there arguing like, no, physical keyboard is the best. I can text better. I can da 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 da. And I'm like, all right, guys.
They're just reminiscing that. That's the same motherfuckers.
Yeah, I was gonna say
that's the same dudes that'll be like, man, fucking wasn't nothing like the original Mario. Donkey Kong was the shit.
I wish I still had these VCR.
Yep.
I need these DVDs. I need my collection.
Exactly.
Like you go on Cribs. Remember back in the day on Cribs, and everybody would show their DVD collection. They'd be like, "Oh, you ain't real if you ain't got this in your collection."
Scarface. You ain't got this one. It's the limited edition
Can't respect you if you ain't got Scarface in your collection.
Widescreen, yeah, that's how they're running.
Same shit, man. Same shit. All right, so yo, what's Apple doing, man?
No,
These dudes.
You know what? I'm actually in. This might sound surprising. I remember when I first heard about this. They came out with the 128 gigabyte iPad, and at first, I laughed at it. I'm like, what the fuck? Why are they doing this now? Why now? And I thought, who would use this? But then it took a little bit of thinking, and it took me to find this article, the one that we're looking at. And this iPad. That's why, if you notice, this didn't come out with no big press conference. There really wasn't even a big announcement. This story was just given to the tech blogs and the tech sites and just came out with it. Because this is really meant for dudes and people that the heavy music editors, the heavy video editors, and real heavy photo editors. That's the only people this is made for. This 128 gigabyte iPad.
What's the price on it? Because my link's not opening up. Was it eight something, right?
Nah. This thing was like $1,000 if I'm not wrong.
Well, fuck that. Why don't you just get a MacBook? Don't they have Don't the MacBook Airs have like 150 gig hard drive standard in it?
I think something like that. But there's just the
convenience. You would think that would be a better alternative, like.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's the convenience. The other reason that they did it, and I didn't even connect these two, were to compete with the Surface Pro, which launched last week. We were talking about it. It officially launched, and that comes with 128. I mean, after fucking Microsoft rapes you for some space, you got like 90 gigabytes. But that was to compete with Microsoft on that end. But I could see, and there were in this article I said, for, a lot of airlines use these, and a lot of universities and big companies use iPads to hold their manuals and shit in, and those can take up a pretty large chunk of space. So that's the crowd this is targeted at. I doubt you're going to come across a regular dude or a regular person anywhere, and they're going to be like, yeah, this is my 128 gigabyte iPad, because it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's why I still, I'm chuckling about it. I'm like, I guess I'm just one of those, I don't know, I'm more practical than anything, more often than not. So even with the Surface Pro, I'm like, for that price, I can get a nice laptop, because, I don't edit music and I don't edit movies and things like that. Mm-hmm. But I would imagine, and I would just assume, maybe, one of our listeners can correct me, I would just assume that it would be easier to do work like that using a laptop. So if anything, you can plug in a mouse and use, because I know, for me, when I'm writing my articles and I'm taking my notes and stuff like that, it's okay to have my tablet, but I would much rather type it out, than anything. Because sometimes, I'll even just as simple as, for the other show that I do for Lukey Boxing, you know how I am, take notes on everything. So I could be watching a fight and taking down notes on my phone.
Yeah.
I would much rather type even just my personal notes to come back because I forget shit so easily. I would just rather type it in. It's so much easier. So I would assume that buying even an Ultrabook, now, I would assume that would be more practical than getting an 128 gig iPad.
Yeah, that's I think at that price, like you said, there's a couple of pretty nice machines you can buy for almost $1,000. You can get a pretty nice. But again, I'm assuming that's why there wasn't a lot of fanfare when this came out. Besides people like us wondering what the fuck did they do it for? But this is targeted towards enterprise people, big music producers or video producers, who fuck around and have a little keyboard, a Bluetooth keyboard that they connect to the iPad and whatever. So the sales on this, when the next later on this year, when the next iPhone or iPad comes out, I doubt we'll see big sales numbers spoken of for the 128 gigabyte iPad.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I think it's gonna do decent numbers because people are gonna be like, "Oh, 32 gigs ain't enough."
64.
Yeah, and I don't even understand how. I got a 32 gig SD card on my phone, and the majority of everything on there is pictures. And then I have a 16 gig, my Zune, that I think I might have 9 gigs taken up, and I got a shitload of music on there. So I don't know. I don't understand people. My homeboy, he carries 2 8 gig iPod touches,
That's just I've argued about this a couple of times on the show here when people talk about 16 and 32 gigs aren't enough for things like phone or something like that. That's ridiculous to me. I think 32 is pretty good for a tablet. Like that shit, I have I have an 8 gigabyte, just a regular 8 gigabyte USB, and I can throw about 4 or 5 Blu-ray rips, compressed Blu-ray rips on there with 2.5 hour movies each. And that's pretty good to me. And I could just imagine how much fucking music you could throw on there. So I don't know when it gets to these crazy amounts, 120 gigabytes, 64 gigabytes. Like there's just so much you can literally store. That's literally thousands of pictures, couple of thousand, thousands of pictures, I'm talking the same thing, thousands of pictures, couple of thousand songs, and probably a couple of dozen fucking uncompressed movies.
Yo, this lady got that bunker shit set up like an apartment, dog.
She needs a couple of 120 gigabyte iPads down there. She ain't never leaving there.
I'll fill everybody in what I'm talking about towards the end of the show, because I'm gonna have to start peeping this show. I was talking to Danny about it before we actually started recording. This shit is gold, yo. I'm such an asshole for laughing about this stuff too. All right, so let's move along. Put this in the notes, and I don't really know what's going on, so I'm gonna let you talk about this Twitter Vine. There was some porn floating around.
Yeah, Twitter came out with an app called Vine that lets you make 6-second videos, and you can put them up on Twitter. And it came out, and it was actually real popular right away. But us people being the fucking pervs that we are, fucking of course everybody started throwing porn videos on there, little 6-second porn clips on there. And yeah, right away, like if you were to go in like in Twitter and search hashtag porn, or in the app itself, if you search hashtag porn, you would find like all these fucking little perverted videos. There was a real big mess on it. It was even on ABC and a bunch of other news channels.
6 seconds though?
Yeah, just 6 seconds. I don't even know what you can show in 6 seconds, but they were showing little 6-second things, and Twitter had to go around and start removing videos that violated the guidelines. Even on the iTunes store, they blocked it for a bit. They blocked it until Twitter resolved that. Because I don't even think there was like on some sites, before you click on a video, there's a warning that the video might contain like pornographic material.
Yeah, like on Wallstar.
Yeah, there wasn't even like no warning. You would just click on it and the video would start playing.
Oh shit! You know what though? Somebody probably got caught up at work.
Exactly, that's what it was.
That's why I don't use Twitter at work. I'll look at it on my phone, but never at my desk.
Yep, and of course it's highly rated against the in the App Store. It's like one of the number one apps in the iOS App Store, and it has a real high rating amongst 12-year-olds plus.
Yo, man, you know what though? 6 seconds. When you're 12 and 13, that's enough to get it done.
You get enough. You get 5 of them. That's 30-second videos.
Hey.
Shit, but yeah, that was a little content. I just found it funny, considering like, I think they were making a big deal about it, considering you can say fuck it, leave the Vine app, and just like go like on one of the millions of other fucking porn sites, or go on WorldStar or whatever, and you can find fucking longer videos. I just found it funny there was like such a big uproar in the news and all across about this.
It's because anytime you take something that's quote unquote taboo, which I don't see it as that anymore. I just feel like it is what it is. Like porn is porn. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But I think, most people, it's not appropriate for everybody, obviously, you know what I mean? But once you take it to where there's no filter, where you take away your option, like you said, like the warning, like, do you want to continue, do you not want to continue? I think that's more the problem than anything, the content and the lack of discretion that's, able to be shown. I think that's the issue more than anything.
Yeah, Twitter gets the UF'd up.
Yeah,
the UF'd up of the week.
Smiley.
Yeah, the UF'd up smiley of the week by letting this go through. But yeah, I mean, I haven't even used the app yet. I'm assuming it's cool, but I don't see what the fuck you can do with a 6-second video up. I don't even know. I wonder if it loops. I even doubt that the video loops continuously.
Nah, they had their dog in this that shelter dog. Nah, nope. Fuck that. Anyway, shit got me sidetracked. Tell you these white folks, man, they paranoid as shit.
Hell yeah.
All right, so moving along, let's talk about all the Google apps in the Chrome browser and things like that. Is this more convenient or is this more hassle?
This is actually a good idea, and this is something. It's funny because guys know I have one of the free Chromebooks, a CR48, and when I first got those, I joined a website called, I think it was called ChromeLounge.com. It was one of like the first sites to talk about the Chromebooks and even the Chrome operating system. And I remember even back then, like about 4 years ago, how dudes were saying how it would be a good thing for, this was Android was in its infancy, how it would be a good thing for Chrome and Android to join. And back then, it made no sense to me. But now I think it does because Google's not going to let go of the Chrome OS. A lot of people, even again, back then, a lot of people would say they don't understand why they have a Chrome OS. They understand, the Chrome browser. They understand Android operating system, but they didn't understand the Chrome operating system. And they thought Google should just get rid of it and just use Android on their Chromebooks, call them Android books or whatever the fuck. But they haven't. And what's gonna happen is a merge. And that's what it looks like it's gonna happen slowly. First of all, with a notification system, as this story implies. But I think over time we're gonna see Android apps in Chromebooks. And I for one, I like it. And like I said, I have a Chromebook now. And it doesn't exactly provide all the functionality in the world. You can get a lot of basic tasks done with it. Here and there, you can add extensions and whatnot, but I think, if they would add the ability to use all my Android apps on there, the thing's functionality would go up 100%.
Yeah, well, it's a good idea. Like, I'm kind of on the fence about it, to be honest with you, because I'm not sure, how the experience would be, or how it would even function. But to have standalone apps instead of having to go directly to the website, but still have website-like functionality.
Yes.
Just not. I'm not saying it has to do everything that the website does, but a good amount. Maybe a step up from say how tablet apps work, where they just do a little bit more or have a different layout and things like that. I think that would be good in the Chromebooks and things like that, where for people like me, if I'm on the move or if I'm doing something, I just boom, open it up. Say I want to be on Twitter, if I'm covering a fight, I can tweet, boom, right from the app instead of having to be on the website, because I like Twitter apps more than I actually like going on the Twitter from the web.
Yes.
So I definitely see that. I like the idea of having Gmail integration through everything, because Chrome has the Gmail little pop-up thingy, but I don't know, it's kind of buggy. I don't know, I can never get it to work right. So I would like to have full integration with that, and just integration with everything, having my Google Drive, because, you and I, for example, we use that literally every week.
Yep.
That's how, Danny and I share the show notes, via Google Drive. So one of us will make the document, we email it to each other, and we both add it, and it's convenient because whoever we decide to have on the show, whoever wants to come on with us, all we have to do is add their email address to the drive, and boom, they can get it and edit it. So having all of that integrated functionality into one spot would be crazy. I would really, really enjoy that. And just like you were talking about before we start recording about, you were talking about the Skype app for Windows 8. Things like that, like having a full functioning app that's just a quick launch, boom, you don't have to go to the internet. It would be 10 times more convenient.
And that's actually I don't think if this in the future, if this does happen, I'm sure we'll see a Skype app. But that's something that Google has been working on with their browser. So let's say I have Chrome browser, you have Chrome browser on whatever machine, to be able to chat directly from the browser. Like just video chat from the browser.
Yeah?
Yeah. And there's a couple of videos already demonstrating that up. So I'll be able to I'll have Chrome on my HP laptop. You'll have Chrome on your Samsung laptop, where you won't have to load or have any separate video software. You just click video chat in the browser, and that'll work. But yeah, no, I think that they need to have a list, like you said. The apps need to work as standalone apps and not just a Twitter app that takes you to a Twitter page. Because
Right.
that's something that happens now. Because they have the Chrome OS. It has its own app store now. It does. It has its own crap. I said crap store.
The crap store.
And
It kind of is though.
fuck
I
it.
haven't used it, but I think
I'll call it
I
a
think
crap store because that's what it is. Like a lot of the apps in there just basically take you to a website. That as far as apps though. They do have a lot of really dope extensions, browser
yeah.
extensions, and I run a bunch of them now. But I would love to see this, to be honest with you. I love to see this. I think it'll put Google in that it'll put them seriously in the laptop netbook space, which the lower end netbook space is up for grabs right now, and slowly but surely Google's creeping up on there. Fucking, I don't know if it was Asus last week or something. They announced, I think it was like 10 or 15% of their netbook sales came from the Chromebooks here in the U.S.
Damn. I was thinking about that, getting one of those because like I need a new laptop, but I don't really want to spend a whole lot of money right now. So I was thinking about getting one of those Chromebooks to travel with me. Just to kind of use around the house, things like that. The only thing I don't like, there's not a lot of onboard storage, but I'm pretty sure I could figure out something to deal with that. Because the only thing that I use my laptop, I keep music on it, but basically to sync my Zoom. But now I've been using my Google Music so much that I'm really starting to not rely on physical media so much. I mean, I like having physical media. I like the idea of it. I'm not one of those, strictly digital or strictly physical types. I kind of use both to my advantage. I'm crafty like that. But I think there's a place for both of them. But I don't know. I was kind of thinking about it. And this new one, that you sent me the link to with that nice ass display, that might be an option if the price is right.
The in-house one, the one that, again, that's a real far off rumor, which we'll talk about when it's a little bit more solid. But that in-house Pixel Chromebook, that's looking serious. And even I just went on Amazon right now. The top selling netbook in Amazon is the Samsung Chromebook, and that's $250 for that one. The one that basically looks like a MacBook Air. It only has a 16 gigabyte hard drive though. But yeah, if you with having Google Drive and a lot of cloud things, and you hook up, you can hook up a little 30. See, for this a 32 gigabyte USB or something like that makes sense for something like this or whatever. But with cloud space and stuff, these things, they're serious. Like I said, I've been wanting one to have around the house for the past couple of months. But they're nice. But if they're able to get Android on there, the usability of these things will go up 100 fucking fold, and it will put Google in a whole new space. Because just imagine you have your Nexus phone, your fucking Nexus tablet, and your Nexus Chromebook all working in sync together with that dope ass notification system. They're already talking about also having Google Now working on that. That's something that's like for sure gonna happen. That's just a matter of in which month this year. But having Google Now in the Chrome browser. And,
that would be dope.
And if you guys have never used Google Now, it's like fucking Siri on steroids. Like that thing is really helpful.
I've got the Google Now on this ROM that I'm running, and it actually works pretty well. Like I installed it, and I was showing my girl. I'm like, oh, check this out, because like my girl basically gets all her tech news through me. So like she's like interested in stuff, like, so if I tell her, she'd be like, oh, that's, I didn't know that they could do stuff like that. And I'm like, well, yeah, blah 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 blah. So I showed her the Google Now, and I'm just like, what time did the Celtics play? That's what I asked. And it was like, the Celtics play tonight at 7:30, or no, the Celtics beat such and such 100-98. They play the LA Clippers tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. I was like, oh shit.
That's funny. I forgot it does that. I was talking about like the random shit that, how it tells you like weather updates.
Yeah,
and then I forgot to talk to
the voice search. Like I would be like, okay, what's the weather for your PA? and it was snowing last weekend. So it was like, it's 17 degrees and snowing. So she's like, oh, wow. And like I was showing her, like, you can ask for what the weather's going to be like next week. You can ask what the traffic's like. What's the best way to get to here.
You can ask the weather in fucking China.
Yeah. I asked it earlier. I'm watching soccer right now. I'm watching the Premier League. My team's getting their ass beat right now, but it was dark, and the time difference, and I'm like, ask Google now. I'm like, what time is it in Manchester, England? So it's like, boom, it's 6 p.m. or whatever. I'm like, oh, okay, that's why it's dark. But like it's pretty cool. I think it offers a little bit more functionality than Siri, but Siri is cool in its own right. The way that it learns your voice and it learns, the way to talk to you and things like that. I think there's a spot for both of them. And as we move forward, I would say within the next year, I think we're going to start seeing some real mind-blown shit. But having that on your laptop would be great. And especially if they can maybe find a way for you to dictate, what you're saying to words, save it as a doc natively. Because I know, like, on Windows, they have a program that you have to buy for that. But that would be cool if Google could somehow integrate that,
I'm surprised we don't have that already. That's one of the fucking technologies I think we should have. Yo, back in about 2002, when we had just gotten, about 2 years ago, just gotten our first desktop here in my fucking house. I went out to fucking Home Depot or something. Home Depot to fucking Staples. My bad. I said Home Depot. I went out to Staples and I bought one of them.
That storm got you paranoid, bro?
And I bought one of them fucking like dictating softwares.
Yeah.
And that shit was horrible. First of all, it brought like a little headpiece or whatever. Because I was trying to be lazy and like write high school reports. Or no, I was out of high school. Write like reports and shit. That shit was horrible. I'm surprised you don't have better speech recognition software. But
maybe it's just not.
Because we just started.
I don't understand how that's not even a hot commodity.
Well, let me know what.
Especially with everything.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Especially with everything, that kind of, will go into our last tech segment for the day. With everyone being so fucking lazy, or as I like to call it, energy conservationists. You would think that something like that would be, pretty popular, aside from people with speech disabilities and things like that, just for me, it's easier, I can write what I want to write, but for me, like just taking notes and things like that, if I want to just speak out loud, that would be great just to have that option to do that. And I haven't seen it a whole lot at all, actually. The last time I even seen anything remotely with speech recognition outside of Siri, Google Now, was Rosetta Stone.
Yep. And I mean, I'm not too surprised when I think about it now, because with voice recognition with fucking Siri just came out, and so did Google Now. Those things are pretty much brand new with voice assistants. I'm sorry, and you figure we would have had something like that a while ago. And before anybody starts ripping me, don't show me no fucking 1995 bullshit ass program that some engineer at Microsoft wrote that half-assed worked. I'm talking about like real voice assistants. We really just got them now with Siri and Google Now. So it's not a surprise that voice dictation, and not just dictation, but I want to be able to open up a word, go to file, voice dictation, start talking, and this motherfucker starts writing for me. I'm really surprised we don't have something like that already. That's probably cheap, because again, there probably is some like $2,000 solution out there somewhere that some Fortune 500 company uses, but for the fucking for the masses. But yeah, I love Google Now. Google Now actually won last year. It won I forgot, I want to say it was Popular Science or Computer and PC, one of those magazines. It won Innovation of the Year. Like invention it won Invention of the Year or some shit like that.
Damn.
Yeah, because it's better than Siri, and not just hating on Apple, but voice recognition wise, it's better. The way it talks to you, it's more of a human-like voice than Siri, and it's connected to much more information, which isn't a surprise, being that Google tries to write down, map, and picture everything in the world.
Right, and it's tied directly through Google, where like I was visiting my brother in Jersey a couple weeks ago, and he's got an iPhone 5 or whatever, and he's like, just talking to Siri and this and that and the third, and some stuff that he was asking, it was like struggling, or it would be like, do you want to search the web or whatever, whereas Google now, if it doesn't find it, it automatically, if it can't tell you, it automatically pulls, from Google. So I think it's just more convenient because it's from Google, so it has that extra step already built in. But, overall, the functionality of it, I think is better. That's my personal opinion. But I actually like the idea of Siri. I think if I had an iPhone, I would use the fuck out of it. Just to set reminders and things like that. But what's good with the Google Now? Weren't they supposed to implement, like, in-phone controls with it? Where, like, you can change settings and stuff just by talking. Is that on the new version of Jelly Bean, or is that going to be the next feature out?
I think that's on the next feature out, where you can Google Now will become the assistant for your phone. Like you can say Google Now, lower brightness.
Right. That's what I was talking about. Or set this alarm for this and that and the third.
Yep, and it'll take you to that. I think that's going to be in the next one.
Siri's got that heads up on that because it's like, I think both of them share their strengths and weaknesses, because like with Siri, you could be like, Siri, set me alarm, for 8:30 on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and it'll do that. You know what I mean? So I think they have that legs up, but when it comes to actual search stuff, I think Google Now is better. But like I said earlier, within the next year or so, I think we're gonna start seeing some crazy innovations and things like that. So we'll just have to keep our eyes peeled for it. But definitely by the time I upgrade this soon-to-be Larry Holmes edition Evo 3D, I'm going to be using the hell out of this new software and stuff like that.
Man, fucking, speaking of upgrading, fucking T-Mobile, if you guys are interested in buying a new phone, T-Mobile for the next, I wouldn't say about at least 10 days, 9 days, they have the Nexus 4 for $50 on a 2-year upgrade, though.
Damn.
It almost made me want to jump back, but I was like, fuck that.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about doing a contract again. I really don't want to, but...
one time free, but that's a tempting offer, though. $50 for a Nexus 4, if you can fucking get it before the end of the year.
Well, apparently people, they put it back out, so people are able to get it a little bit easier. Because I know for a while there, I was kind of shitting on Google a couple weeks ago where they kind of dropped the ball, but they seem to be moving some units again. I don't know. We'll see, man. I don't know. I think maybe... I wonder... A part of me wonders if they did that shit on purpose, where they just made the demand small, just so more people, like, all right, we made 500,000 of them, but we're only going to release 200,000 of them for right now, so more people want them, create that buzz. So, moving along, I did not know this until you sent me this link, but Google Plus is the second most popular social network behind Facebook, according to SlashGear.
Yeah, like I said, I'm a big Google fan, but this is more fluff than anything else, because you get a Google Plus account with automatically when you open up a Gmail or whatever, but your Google Plus account, is not activated till you actually click on it once. And I'm sure anybody that gets a new Android phone and sees this Google Plus thing clicks on it once and then probably never looks at it again. So that's an activation. And yeah, but it's the second biggest social network out behind Facebook. It has a ridiculous amount of active viewers. At one point, there's 343 million Google Plus users. That's not online. That's just total amount of users, and a ridiculous amount that's actually like live viewers. But this shit really doesn't matter because nobody really uses Google Plus. I know before when we were on Hamster, and we had the other blog going on, some of us would use it, and every now and then I go on my Google Plus and I just clean some things up or whatnot. But nobody fucking uses it, and it's a shame because there are a lot of cool features. Like the Hangout feature is something that's really dope. We used it once for our live podcast, 10 episodes 9 episodes, excuse me, ago. And they're always adding features, and I'm always seeing updates for it when I'm using my Nexus 7. They're always updating it and making it better and better. But it just really hasn't popped for them. And it has a lot more features than Facebook and Twitter or even MySpace could ever want. It has a lot of cool features, but it didn't pop. And really, honestly, I think it's because of the name. I'm big on names. And, Facebook has a name to it. Twitter has a name to it. Like Google Plus, that doesn't have a social ring to it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I know I used to use it, 2 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like 2 years ago when it first dropped, I was like, actually, when we were on Hamster, I know I was one of the first people to get a Google Plus invite, so I know I was handing them out to everybody. And I used it for maybe 2 or 3 months, and then I just stopped using it. Like, I don't know, I just, like the initial, oh, this is cool, kind of wore off. But it was kind of cool. You could search for people nearby you, or you can share stuff, or, it was cool. I don't know. I might try and go back and use it, but I know it's good for, like, news and things like that to get up on stuff. I don't know. I'm funny when it comes to new stuff, like to try to use it, because, back then nobody was really using it, so it's like, all right, I'm on here. Nobody else is really on here. All right, yeah, I'm done. Let me go back over to Facebook, and then I started using Twitter more often. So I was like, oh, well, everybody's always on Twitter. You know what I mean? So it's kind of one of those things where it's only good. It's only good when there's a lot of people on there too. So it's like it's hit or miss. I haven't checked it in a long time. I think the last time I checked it, there was some dude that somehow was in one of my circles, and he was just posting pictures of girls. And that's all I saw, and some tech stuff. I was like, so I got asses and microprocessors. Cool.
Yeah, I like the way they do it. And I think if it was a different name and marketed differently, it would be a lot more. Like, look at YouTube. YouTube is owned by Google also, and it's the largest video sharing site in the fucking world by far. But I think that's just me. If YouTube was called, remember when YouTube was called Google Video?
Yes.
That shit was not that popular. That's just a crazy conspiracy of mine. If Google Plus had a different name and branded differently, it'll be a lot more popular. But let's see, maybe in the future they can shape it up, because they definitely have the users, and that's just so dope that you give people, and I mean dope and scary at the same time. You automatically give people a Google Plus account if they have an Android phone. So
the one thing that I didn't like is that when you take a picture, it automatically uploads it to Google Plus. Like, you don't have to share it per se, but the fact that it automatically goes up and asks you if you want to share it is weird for me. I don't know. Like, I don't take no crazy pictures. So guys, get your heads out of the gutter if you think that's where I'm going with that. But I don't know. Like, maybe pictures of my nephews, my nieces. You know what I mean? Like kids. Personal stuff, you know what I mean? I don't know, I share what pictures I want. I just like having discretion to do what the fuck I want to. If I don't want to share my damn vacation pictures, or maybe I've got some pictures of somebody had my phone and I'm wasted and I don't want anybody to see my ass in that state, then, I just don't, and people could be like, oh, well, you don't have to share it, but it's the fact that it automatically puts it up there for you to choose to share it. If I want to upload it, I'll go to my gallery and hit share. I don't know, that's just how I feel about that.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a feature they'll fix though in the future if they haven't already. I remember that before, and that was really weird. That still trips me out with what's that, Picasa, on maybe something I haven't been able to figure out, but on my Nexus 7, when you go into gallery, all my pictures from Picasa show up in the Nexus 7 in the gallery, and I used to be able to turn that off. And it's unchecked from the sync option, but the pictures still show up.
Damn. That's even more weird that it's not even supposed to sync. I mean, it could be that I can turn the sync off on Google Plus, and I just didn't realize it.
Probably.
A little discussion, And everybody, when we're done talking, feel free to add or subtract from whatever Danny and I have to say. But you feel like the internet has spoiled us?
Man, what was I doing the other fucking day? And I think I was downloading.
You were at Walmart, right? Because that's what you told me. You were looking at the DVDs.
Yes. That was it. I didn't even remember that. I was at fucking Walmart. I was actually in Walmart. I went to pick up a cordless phone for the house or whatever. And then I was waiting for the dude to ring my shit up, and there was a little DVD rack right next to it. And it had like the Bourne movies, it had the movie Man on Fire, just a bunch of movies that came out within the past maybe 7 or 8 years or whatever. And my thought, if you had told me again, if you had told me about 6-7 years ago, I would have been the guy. And they were cheap; they were like $5 or $6. I would have picked up about 3 or 4 of those movies right there. But I'm standing and I'm scanning through a DVD rack, seeing which movies I don't have, so I can go home and download them. I was like, fuck, man, like that shit's just lazy as fuck. And I was driving home and I'm thinking, how lazy the internet has made us. And I was talking the other day with my girl about this, about just something as simple as like you see it in school kids, like even doing research about some shit. Before you had to walk your ass to the local library or go talk to somebody to hand you a book about it. But now you can Google it and you can literally copy somebody else's thoughts about you don't have to do any thinking. Before, you couldn't go grab a book from the library and just straight up write it, because the fucking teacher would know you didn't write that shit. Even if you slightly reworded it, the teacher wouldn't know. But now you can go on Google or what your particular search engine is and ask, what do you think about the Roman Empire? And you can find some discussion boards, some message boards, some blogs, some forum, and copy somebody else's thought about it and not have to learn about it on your own.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, when you had brought it up to me, I started thinking, I'm like, shit, just like even just something simple as email. Like before, if you wanted to get, you remember you ever have a pen pal growing up?
No, I didn't.
I had a pen pal. I met like friends because like at camp. Mm-hmm. So like we would send each other letters and stuff all the time. Or like my school, we had like a pen pal program through our class where you can have a friend in another country and they would send you letters and you send them letters and shit like that. But now I'm like, fuck. You don't gotta wait for a letter to come in the mail. Like, boom, it's right there. Email, boom, Twitter, boom, instant messaging, text messaging. You know what I mean? Like, boom, 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 boom. And like, what was I telling you the other day? Oh, when I had to call ESPN, and I was like, man, I don't want to fucking call these people. I would rather just email them.
Yep.
Like, I think that's really what it is. When I order food, 9 times out of 10, I order it online.
Yeah, you don't have to like even have that that interaction. You can fucking, even before, like, let's say you wanted to try, let's say it was like, I don't know, you look at the pizza menu, there's a different type of pizza that you don't know what the toppings are on it. Before, you had to just fucking take chances and just order that bitch, taste it, and see if it was good. Now you can go online. Oh, does this topping taste good on this pizza? And you can fucking see videos about it and all this other shit. That doesn't make us. That's not being lazy. That just that's options. But I think in a lot of other areas, especially intellectually, for the younger generation, more so than for our generation, it's making them lazy as fuck. You don't have to think. You don't fucking have to do much at all. So I think it's spoiled us. Yep, it spoiled us, and the crazy thing about it is that it's only getting better and better, and more information is getting out there. The other day I was watching some shit about how Google was mapping like not that they finished mapping like the Grand Canyon or some shit like that. And you can use Google Earth. It was the Grand Canyon, and also like a lot of they dedicated themselves to mapping a lot of tourist attractions. So it's like now, again, give it like 5 or 6 years. You won't even have to load the family up to take them to the Grand Canyon or whatever. You can you'll have your TV hooked up to your tablet. You load up Google Earth, load up the thing, hit the little tour button. I don't know, throw on some fucking damn 3D glasses, and you'll get
That's
you'll get the toy.
that's something I can honestly say that I would never do. Unless, like, the only thing I can see is that maybe I was trying to be, like, cute for my girl or something like that, and she really wants to go somewhere. I'll just throw it up on the TV, and I want to do something nice, like maybe for Valentine's Day or something like that. I would do something like that, but from seeing the stuff that I've seen, like, and you and I both have traveled, you know, for being fairly young, you and I both traveled quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
There's no substitution for seeing the real thing. Like, I've seen, like, for instance, I've seen the Hoover Dam a million times on TV, right?
Mm-hmm.
But actually, when I went to the Hoover Dam and saw it, like, I was mind blown. Like, there could be no substitution for feeling what you see and experiencing it, being right there and being in that environment. And I think the younger generation, they don't understand that because they'll be like, oh, I just looked at a video on YouTube, so whatever. You know what I mean? I feel like that's how they view things a lot now, you know, and shit, I'm not even that old, you know, I'm 27, so I kind of see both where I'm hip to all the cool shit now, and I still remember the days, like, I was talking to one of the dudes at work, he's like 19, and I was like, shit, I remember the 56K days where you want to download a song, you know, you put 3 or 4 of them to download, wake up in the morning, make your CD, and go to school.
Yep.
You know, you got to let that shit download overnight on fucking BearShare or whatever, you know? Like, just stuff like that. But there's no substitution for doing a real thing. And even, like, when it comes to research, I still prefer going through books and reading books when it comes to researching stuff rather than hitting Google and stuff like that. Like, I would much rather have a pile of books and go through the books. I think that's part of the experience of learning and doing yourself and making your own interpretation of things instead of, like you said, taking somebody else's opinion. You know, somebody could have thought Caesar was a douchebag, and you could be like, oh, well, I can kind of see that. Instead of reading about what he did and drawing your own conclusion and having someone else's opinion influence you and persuade you what you want to do, you know. So, I don't know. That might have an impact on a lot of things. I can start to see how that has an impact on journalism a little bit now, starting now.
Yeah, I could definitely co-sign what you said about going to see things. I've been to Niagara Falls, I've been to the Panama Canal, and I mean, overall, they're both, you know, they're not the most exciting tourist spots ever, but, you know,
shit, I'm trying to go to Niagara Falls, dog.
Yeah, I've been, you know, the falls, they're pretty impressive. There's actually like a little boat ride that you can take on them. When I went, it was too cold to actually do it. If not, I would have done it. But it's fucking, you know, but I think, it's like you said, I think loading up a YouTube video and actually being there doesn't do it justice. You know, like, you see the link for the water falling, the mist of the water hitting your face. Just
the rainbow over it, you know, like little shit like that.
All that shit. Yeah. But you know, but there's going to be a generation that they're going to be fine with just looking at it on YouTube or seeing a virtual tour.
Exactly. Exactly. And like I said, we can kind of see it now where just, like, I mean, I'm pretty, like, my girl always makes fun of me because, like, we're so different. Like, I'm one of those people that I feel like I get bored easily, so I like to have, like, stimulation. So I'm like, I'll look at my phone or I'll be doing something, but, like, I see, like, teenagers, like my niece, for instance. My niece is 17, and we'll be in the car, like, when I go visit my sister. We'll drive to Boston. My sister lives outside of Boston. We'll all drive to Boston, and we'll be in the car, and, like, I'll play games in the car and stuff, but, like, me and my girl and my sister, we're all talking. And, like, my niece is just on her phone, texting. We get out of the car, text. You know what I mean? So, like, I see that a lot now with the younger generation. They're, like, glued to everything. You know, they're glued to the phones. They're glued to their iPods. They walk around with their headphones on in the mall with their families and shit like that. My mom would have slapped the fuck out of me for that.
Yeah, they become zombies. The guys know I work at schools, and, like, I've seen kids go through withdrawals if you take their phones away. Like, just straight up fucking just craziness. My girl was telling me the other day, she works at a high school, and she was like, she would really love to see if there was, like, an outage somewhere where there was basically no internet for 6 months. She says you would fucking see kids getting put into a hospital, breaking down with mental illness.
I would believe it. The only thing that I can say that will happen to me, no internet for 6 months, I'd probably be bored, but I've been through that. You know, I was in the Army, you know, I could go to the internet cafe, like, once every other day or once a day if I wanted to, but, you know, if I didn't, my girl would, like, oh, what would you do if you didn't have your phone? Like, my girl's Mexican, so we were talking about, taking a trip to Mexico. She went last summer, or 2 summers ago, before she moved out here, and, she didn't have phone service, so she had to go, like, to the little store and get calling cards and this and that and the third. And I'm like, you make fun of me for, having my phone and stuff all the time, but that's because I choose to do so. I don't need to do it. I've been without technology, 3 months basic training, you know what I mean? I can do it if I want to, but if I don't have to do it, I don't want to do it, you know what I mean? But it's like, there's nothing that I'm going to sacrifice, like, nah, I ain't going on this fucking trip because I can't have my cell phone, but I see kids, like you said, the younger generation, I can see that now, like, telling their parents, like, they don't want to go to wherever because there's no cell phone service, or they can't get on their Facebook, or they can't get on Instagram, or whatever the cool app is for the day. I can definitely see that happening where people become, and I think now that I see it, people are becoming more introverted than anything now with more easy access to the internet and easy access to other people. They're so used to online interaction that they don't know how to interact in person.
Yep. So you the motherfuckers going up shooting schools up.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it happens.
That is another topic. But, for those of you, everybody out there listening, if you guys want to weigh in on that, hit us up. Let us know. If y'all want to come on and debate it further, let us know. We love to talk about it some more. But let's jump to pop culture. Did you watch Spartacus last night?
Yes, I did.
See, I missed it last night. I came home and went to bed early, but I watched it last week.
Last night was another, I mean, compared to the other two, it was a little bit more calm, but still an epic episode. They had control of the city, and some pirates showed up. Some fucking pirates showed up. Basically, the pirates had a deal with the dude that used to run the city before, the redheaded lady's wife, where he would place a stamp on the manifest of the items that they stole from other ships. So basically making the stolen items legit. Because what would happen before is they would hijack these ships. They'd have the stolen stuff and they couldn't pull into port to try to sell them. Because people would be like, you know what, your shit's stolen. We don't want to do business with that steal shit. So this guy had a deal with them where he would seal their manifest. They would give him half the stuff for low price and they could sell the other half. So they basically wanted this deal with Spartacus. So Spartacus has to talk to the lady to give her to find the stamp, and that was the fighter side. On the other side, it was the gladiator side. On the other side, Crassius' son and a young Julius Caesar get to little base camp, and one of the guys from last week, one of the Romans from last week, actually escaped, or I don't know if they let him go, and he basically tells him, like, listen, motherfucking gladiators took over a whole city. And Crassius' son is like, well, let's go fucking get them. And Caesar's like, nah, chill, but nope. Young man wanted to prove some shit, and at the fucking end of the episode, I mean, it's not that big of a spoiler because it wasn't nothing crazy. The pirates look like they're about to screw Spartacus over. The Romans show up, and the fucking gladiators and the pirates get together, and they just fuck up the Romans. Fuck them up, and young Crassius gets shanked in the ribs.
What?
Yeah, homie catches a spear to the fucking ribs.
Well, he was being all, when I saw last week's episode, he was being all, I guess Caesar was trying to push up on old girl, and he didn't like that shit.
Yeah, on the girl who's his father. You know what's crazier about that? That fucking.
Don't his dad end up fucking her?
Yeah, his dad's fucking her. But you know what's the thing about that? It seems like he has feelings for her, and now she kind of likes him or whatever. But I don't think she knows. And yeah, she's fucking his dad, because she called him by his first name.
That shit for better treatment.
Hell yeah, she ain't trying to be out there with the field gladiators. She's trying to be a house gladiator. Fuck that.
But and I'm gonna probably have to set my DVR now, because I like that they threw the young Caesar in there. This nigga is fucking weird, yo.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's weird as fucking shit. But you know what's part of it? Because in this episode, the guy that they go meet, the general that they go meet, ask him like why the fuck you looking so rough? And he's like, nah, fucking Crassius told me to stay like that or whatever. Yeah, but he has some weird fucking tendencies.
Yeah, last week he was in that little bathhouse and old girl was on her hands and knees with a knife.
Yeah.
Cutting him up.
She was fun. You know, it's funny. At first, I'm like, what the fuck is she shaving him or something?
That's what I thought.
But nah. Then like when I, a couple of seconds later, she's not fucking shaving him. Like she's fucking like, this dude's getting off on some sadistic shit.
Mm-hmm. That shit was crazy.
I was like, it was a good. This last episode was a good episode. There was a little fucking. They stayed throwing in the little like wild homosexual parts going in. The fucking the young dude, the guy that has the little young dude, the dude with the long hair, whatever. Him and one of the pirates. The irony, one of the pirates tries to snatch. Yeah, one of the butt pirates tries to snatch old boy up, and the pirate gets the shit beat out of him.
You know they were fucking laughing. They were like, "Yo, we got pirates in this episode. We should make one of them gay." And the whole room of writers just starts laughing like we just were.
Butt pirates. Somebody does die. I'm not gonna ruin it for you.
Don't even ask me how either. I set that one up pretty good.
Somebody does die in this episode. He's not a primary guy. He's a secondary guy, which just got introduced. But he gets fucking bashed. The fucking. And what else? Yeah, it was a good episode overall. Good episode. Didn't add anything. There was no big revealing information, but next episode should be interesting with young Crassius all stabbed up and shit. Caesar didn't even show up to the fight. Caesar did not even show up to that fight.
I think he's gonna be a catalyst for this season. He's gonna be the reason that some shit goes wrong and goes well at the same time, and he's gonna escape from it somehow. You know, because I mean, we all know history, so we know what's gonna happen, but the interaction from now till then is going to be really good. I think he's going to be the reason that some shit pops off because his attitude, he's got like this sense of like, I don't know, he's real arrogant. Like he's just arrogant and he's just like, you know, like he walks in a room and he expects everything to stop when he walks in a room. And I fuck with his character because of that.
And you know what? It's funny that if you've ever seen any of the other shows like HBO's Rome, or any other show based on Caesar, he's always portrayed as a real humble. He's never been shown as a young guy, first of all. Always shown as an older guy. He's always shown as a pretty humble guy. So I like the fact that they're showing him as a wild dude here.
But I would imagine that he was like that. You know, just because you don't become what he became from being a soft-spoken, you know, you got to have some shit wrong with you and not give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes to stuff. So I think, like, I don't know. I like that. Like I said, I like that angle that they're playing with him. And the writing on the show is excellent. You know, so that's... I gotta remember to set my DVR so we can talk about that shit. I'll catch it, like, Friday when I come home from work. And I'll catch, like, half of the episode. But, that shit was crazy, man. I'm telling you, that shit with fucking Caesar when she was cutting his dick. That shit fucked me up. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Weird as fucking. You know, when I was reading some shit, I'm actually looking at it now. They're thinking about the executive producer for Spartacus is thinking about doing a whole nother show just based on Caesar.
Hey, I'll watch that shit.
That shit would be dope as fuck.
If they do it in the same style, I don't see why they couldn't.
That shit would be dope.
It would almost, technically, in a way, you could call it a spinoff, I guess. Use the same actor.
Yep.
That wouldn't be a bad idea. I like that. Alright, so let's talk about Real Husbands of Hollywood for a second from this past week. Basically, the episode was funny as shit. But Kevin Hart really starting to shine on this. And JD Smoove as well. It's really mostly about them two with the other characters kind of sprinkled in so that the stuff doesn't get stale. But pretty much... Kevin was checking out Sugar Shane Mosley, his girl's bad as fuck. No. Oh, Lord.
I'm gonna have to watch that shit.
Yo, his girl bad as fuck, right? So Kev was like checking her out or whatever. And so like Sugar Shane about to put the beats on him for talking to his girl. And Kev makes up some bullshit and he's like, nah, I got Tourette syndrome, and I just be having these outbursts. So, like, he says that he would do this fight, this charity fight, to raise money for his charity and shit, his Tourette's charity. And, like, his lawyer's on the show, like, and his lawyer kind of cute, too. And she's like, Kev, I can't get you out of this. Like, there's a video on it. Because JB Smooth took a video of Kevin, like, saying that he'll fight him for charity and this and that. He's like, you know how much shit that's going to start off if you don't, do this charity fight? And he's like, well, Shane said that he'll put up X amount of money. And he's like, oh, good. And he's like, she's like, no, Kevin, it's not for you, it's for the kids. And he was like, I don't give a fuck about no kids. like Kevin be wilding out. And so, you had that dynamic. And then, like, I guess, I can't think of Dwayne Martin. He's trying to get everybody together. So it's him, Robin, Kev, JB. They're trying to buy this club. And they're like, yo, why is this club so cheap? And apparently someone had gotten killed in the club. And Kev and JB get all worked up. And they're like, this is bad. I don't want to have no blood on my hands. They come storming out. And, like, Robin Thicke and Dwayne Martin are like, yo, we can make a lot of money out of here. But they wanted like $150,000 a piece from everyone. That's how much it would have cost to buy this fucking club. But the show is ridiculous. Like, somebody's always trying to hustle something. Kevin's always getting into some bullshit. Somebody's always arguing. It's pretty funny. It's really funny, actually. He had you remember Esther Baxter?
Of course,
the model?
Of course.
Yeah. Well, Kev got her in the hot tub in the very beginning of the episode, and he's like trying to talk her up and shit. And he's like, I'm not talking about right now. I'm talking about for the rest of our lives. So she's like, oh, well, in that case, let's go to the bedroom or some shit like that. So she gets up and walks away. You know how, like, on reality shows where somebody walks away and the camera zooms in on the character and they talk to them like a confessional style?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, by the rest of my life, I mean, for the rest of the night. And she's like, I heard you, Kevin. Fuck you, I'm going home. And he's like, nah. He starts, like, complaining. He's like, fuck, man. He, like, splashes the water and just goes underwater. And it goes to, like, the intro or whatever. But they always have celebrity cameos on there. Common was on there.
Common can act his ass off, man. Seen Common. Yeah, he can. I've seen him in a couple of movies. Him and fucking, what's the, not Q-Tip. Fuck, I'm trying to think there's another.
Talib Kweli?
Nah, I've never seen Talib.
Nah, why am I saying I'm talking about Mos Def? I don't know why I said Talib Kweli.
Yeah, Mos Def, yep.
Yeah, I was thinking, whenever I think of one, I think of the other. Because I think of them always being together, Black Star and shit. But yeah, he was Mos Def's a pretty good actor, too. But, you ready for this Walking Dead, man?
That's, tomorrow, right?
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow, yeah, fucking. I really hate that they divide the seasons like this. That's some lazy shit to me, but it is what it is. But yeah, tomorrow, that's gonna be the head of the collision between the fucking governor and Rick's group, and then you have the, what's his other guy group that's played by Cuddy from The Wire?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. But I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, they've been talking. Anybody who's a fan of the comic, Tyrese, that's his name, Tyrese. Tyrese is the guy's name. That he's supposed to be like a super. No, not Tyrese, the actor, the singer.
Okay. Yeah. I know what crew you're talking about. I thought you were saying Tyrese, and I'm like, shit, I must have missed something. No.
In the comic book, this actor's called Tyrese, and he's played by the dude who plays Cuddy in The Wire. And he's supposed to be like a real badass. So his crew's in it. But the major conflict is the governor's crew going up against Rick's crew. But yeah, I'm fucking can't wait for that shit.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know how the governor, like, I don't know. I see Rick's crew, even though they're smaller. I think they can end up taking over everything because they're just better. They're trained. They've actually had to shoot. Like, what's the old girl's name? Andrea, she was saying, like, wow, you've never shot before? Like, and she was a beast with it, and everybody was just pretty much green when it come to firing a weapon and actually shooting someone, so, I don't know, that's going to be a nice additional, like, fold for the plot line, like,
yeah.
just for the fact that you have a big number of people that aren't trained versus a small number of people who are trained. So that's gonna be good. And then
I'm hoping they
the
don't drag it
governor's
out.
fucking crazy in itself, and then he got Andrea brainwashed and shit.
I'm just hoping they don't drag it out, to be honest with you. What, it's going to be 8 episodes more? Like 8 episodes long, and I'm really hoping they don't drag this shit out for like 6 episodes or something. Like, the fight between Rick's crew and his crew. I'm hoping this happens within the first 2 episodes, and then, like, whatever the fuck is going to happen next happens. I really don't want it to be like it takes them 4 or 5 episodes for them to get a fucking a real fight between Rick's crew and the governor's crew. And then we get 2 bullshit episodes, and we'd actually get 2 episodes of like little vague meanings, which leave us wanting more.
They kind of did that the first half of this season, where they would have like a little bit of action in one episode, a little bit of action in the next, and they just kind of drag the whole thing out. But I think they might do. I think they might just kind of switch it up and hit the ground running, because their premieres usually are really good, where they pick up, boom. Because remember last season, the season premiere for this one, it showed them on the move. So I think it might be okay, and hopefully our boy Carl catches some bodies again.
Young Carl.
Killer Carl got bodies, man.
I'm saying he gonna hit a homegirl. He been eyeing her. That one daughter, he's been eyeing her.
Oh yeah, she old as shit. Well, not old, but was he supposed to be like 13?
I'm assuming he's like 12, 13, but I think she's like mid-20s.
Yeah.
She's like mid-fucking 20s. But I don't know, man, because I'm not a big
lay down that post-apocalyptic dick.
I'm not a big comic book fucking fan, but I keep up on the comic books, and it's funny because I don't know if you've ever seen the things on the Kali or whatever. People would swear that the stuff in the comic book is spoilers, and it's really not. It's really actually real fucking interesting to read like what happens in the comic book and then how it's actually played out in the fucking show. Like, for example, the next thing they're actually supposed to do, and it's funny because this is like Spartacus, like when they leave the prison, Rick and them take over a whole city, a whole little town, allegedly. But I don't think that's gonna happen on the show. Like, they go over and they just take over like a whole fucking little town or whatever. And there's a lot of little interesting shit that the comic book includes that's left out on the fucking show. But yeah, I'm ready for this fucking show. Let's just hope they don't. And I have a strong feeling they are, but I hope they don't drag out the little fight scene 4 episodes or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we'll be okay. I think they're really, because they caught a lot of backlash last season. A lot of people were starting to say they jumped the shark, and even me, I watched it every week. But at some episodes, I was just like, man, and I think I even talked about it on the show, like, I'm starting to just kind of like whatever with it, I was just kind of watching it, and I felt that way with Sons of Anarchy, where I'm just like, I think I'm done with this show. But, Walking Dead's still entertaining to me, so a lot of people put more stock into it than I do. It's just entertaining to me, but I think this season, since the season wasn't over technically,
yeah,
it's just, the mid-season shit, which I don't like either. Look what Breaking Bad is doing to us. I think they'll pick back up and then leave us with a pretty crazy cliffhanger for the actual end of the season.
Fucking hate them for that.
So, did you get a chance to watch The Americans yet?
Haven't even seen it at all.
Yo, this shit is fucking crazy. I talked about it last week or the week before about the Soviet couple, they're spies, living here in D.C., living in America. And this show is fucking crazy, man. Like, this past episode, the main character, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but they're trying to get some information. So his wife is a spy as well. She poisons the son of the Secretary of Defense's maid. So dude's like deathly sick, and he comes to her, shows up in her apartment in disguise and shit, and he's like, well, look, we've injected your son with a very strong poison. I'm the only one that has the antidote for it. You know, his fever's going to get out of control, this and that and the third. So this is what I need you to do. The clock that's in his office, I need you to bring me this clock, and I will give it back to you, and you put it back. And then I'll give your son the antidote for this poison, and everything will be okay, and you can live your life, and, you know, don't tell anybody, you know, because if you call the cops, if you do anything, no one can help you but me. So if I get arrested or if someone tries to kill me, your son's gonna die.
Huh.
Yeah, they are not fucking around. And so they're trying to get, you know, information on who this Soviet defector is and what information he's given them. So they're basically shitting bricks that their whole operation might be compromised.
And what channel is
this
this coming
on
on?
FX.
On FX, oh wow.
Yeah, so FX is really doing big things. It comes on Wednesdays. But you will probably, I think you would like it, like the whole spy, espionage, top secret. But everybody, this family, they're living a double life. You know, they've got their spy life, quote unquote, where they're Soviets. That's all they care about. You know, if you know Russians, they're proud to be from Russia. You know what I mean? So, and it shows like flashbacks from when they were younger, like coming up in the game, in the military and things like that. But then you have the family side of them where their kids don't even know that they're spies. Their kids just think they're regular American citizens.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a really interesting dynamic to this show where you see really three sides of everything. Where the man, the husband, really cares about his kids, and he's even considering. He brings it up to his wife that they should defect to the United States because there's a guy that they knew from back in the day. He actually was a captain when the female character was she was still like coming up in the KGB, and he actually like raped her. So they ended up capturing him because he was spying. He was basically a double agent. He had defected and started selling the Americans information, and the Americans gave him, you know, the government gave him $2 million, and they just kept paying him, you know, 6 figures to be a consultant. So he's telling his wife this, and she like spazzed on him. She's like, no, we're doing this for home, for the motherland, this and that and the third. So you have them butting heads, whereas he really, is looking forward, looking towards how they're going to continue as a family, where she's worried about spying pretty much. So that dynamic's real interesting. And then their neighbor is an FBI agent who's in charge of the counter espionage or counterintelligence unit. So they've got him watching, but he doesn't really think that anything's going on, but he feels like something is off about the main character, the male. He feels like something's up, and his wife just is like, oh no, whatever, I think it's just your imagination, da 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 da. So you got that dynamic too. It's almost like the Hank and Walter dynamic on Breaking Bad, where Hank kind of is like something's up, but he can't prove it, and they're close. So you got that whole dynamic on this show. So it's pretty good. I think they said the ratings dropped a little bit on the second episode, but hopefully it still does pretty good numbers because it's really good, and I want to see how it ends up. So
Breaking Bad, but that show needs to come back. Speaking of shows, Breaking Bad, can't wait till that shit comes back.
We got July, right?
I'm not even sure, but probably.
I think it comes back in July. Oh, I'll be. My body is ready.
For sure.
Speaking of bodies, your boy Rose. It's a little old news for everybody, but we didn't talk about it last week. So
boss,
his Bugatti.
I ain't cutting no checks, dog. Look into my eyes. Look into my eyes. I ain't cutting no checks. This dumbass almost got himself killed. The day of his birthday, down in Miami, somewhere in Florida. I don't think it was Miami, but down in Florida. Rick Ross is coming out the club, coming home. I don't know where the fuck was going. Him and his girlfriend
like broad daylight
in the Rolls Royce, and he got shot. The car got shot. Well, not even the car. Hang on, the building behind the car got shot the fuck up because no bullets hit the fucking car. But this is That's fucking, if it wasn't, because a lot of people are saying it was fake. If it wasn't,
Yeah,
if it wasn't fake, this should have been a wake up call for this dude to
that tax.
that little beef he got with the GDs, the gangster disciples. He owes them boys some money he doesn't want to pay, and
Gotta pay that tax.
he said he's not cutting no checks. He said I'm not
Hmm.
cutting no damn checks, and he fucking almost lost his life.
Yeah, man, I don't know what the fuck is going on with this dude. And then he said, excuse me, he just said something on Twitter or in a press release or something, basically like talking shit like nobody can touch him or some shit like that. And I'm like, yo, man, you are a rapper, all right? I don't care like about him being a CEO, none of that shit. He's a rapper. He's an entertainer. Like, I think like he's really starting to feel like what he's saying, like, what he says in his songs. I'm like, nah, you gotta chill, man. These niggas don't give a fuck.
Uncle Luke, I think it was Uncle Luke down in Miami. Yeah, it was Uncle Luke that wrote a fucking open letter to him and basically told him, handle your business, because shit, it'll be a shame. You're making all this fucking money, making all this good music. You've evolved a lot as an artist, and it would be a shame to see you get killed at the height of your career, basically.
Yeah, for some stupid shit.
Yeah.
For just dumb shit, And I think that's like some people take that gangster rap shit, if you want to call it that, or being a boss, or all of that. Like they start taking that shit to the head, and really thinking that you're untouchable, and it don't even have to be much. These dudes they don't care, yo. There's dudes in the hood, that don't got shit, that don't give a fuck, and they don't need much money to do much of anything, So I don't know. It's just ridiculous. And if it was some kind of publicity stunt, I'm just gonna shake my fucking head at that, because that's ridiculous. Like somebody could have gotten hurt, and it's dumb. Just I didn't know his record sales was that bad for him to have to get a publicity stunt.
Yeah, just that would have been, if somebody else had got hit. He's lucky nobody got hit, because it would have been a crazy investigation.
Hit the fan, man, dog. He wouldn't be. Yeah.
Lawsuit up the ass. But yeah, Rick Ross got shot. He's alive. The world moves on.
How do you miss his big ass though? Anyway.
How do you miss a fucking Rolls Royce? Like, them shits are huge. That's not a little Boxster Porsche or nothing. You can accidentally hit one of those. Accidentally, but they did miss, man.
They was holding their gun sideways like, oh dog.
Let's talk about the real beef though. Let's talk about the real serious beef.
This is good.
Let's talk about the real serious beef.
News from last week, but I just can't help but talk about it. Got a brawl between. Hold on. Before we even. How do you beef and you're an R&B singer?
I'm trying to think who's the first R&B singer to have beef. I want to say, but that wasn't even in beef. I remember when Ty Ty, which is Jay-Z's cousin or something like that, maced R. Kelly backstage, but that wasn't even really a beef. I'm trying to think what was the first like real fucking like R&B beef. Trey
Songz and R. Kelly,
kind of, yeah. Trey Songz did a whole song sounding ridiculous about it.
He pretty much bit R. Kelly's whole steez, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, but these are.
And I remember, I think I want to say, I could be wrong, but I remember KC from Jodeci has something against Cisco from Drew Hill because he said he was basically jocking his steez as well. But I'm like, you ain't the only dude in history to have a raspy voice.
Yep.
Ain't nobody say you're jacking Bobby Womack's steez when you made his song too.
Yeah, but it got serious now. It got serious. Fucking, the story goes that Frank Ocean was coming into a studio and with his crew, and Chris Brown was leaving his studio with his crew. You know what this makes me think of? You ever seen the Chappelle episode where they go to play basketball at Prince's house? That's the visual I get when I think about this. Frank Ocean
kind of reminds me of some West Side Story shit where both crews are walking down snapping their fingers.
Yep, Frank Ocean being Prince's crew, and Chris Brown being the other crew. So they're getting to this place and leaving this place, and some words are exchanged, or somebody tells somebody you gotta leave the studio. And
I heard that shit. I don't know if it's true, but I heard that somebody was parked in somebody's parking spot, and that's like kind of how the whole thing got popped off, is they was arguing over a parking spot.
I heard fucking Frank Ocean's manager said that Chris Brown trying to beat the shit out of Frank Ocean. One of them ended up with a cast, or both of them have cast on their hands now. But I mean, at the end of the day, this is more fucking dangerous for Chris Brown. I'm not sure if he's still on probation or something or the other.
Yeah, he is.
Exactly.
And this motherfucker said that it came out where he lied about his community service hours.
He faked it. Yeah.
He faked it. Yeah.
He faked
Dumbass.
He better get some of that Rihanna money to step that lawyer game up. But yeah, this was just something I thought, or we thought was fucking.
Somebody said that Frank Ocean grabbed their ass like.
Oh, that was too fucking funny. So, some dude, it was a Spanish guy. He said that as the fight was like finishing, that Frank Ocean grabbed his ass, and he, of course he wanted to sue for fucking sexual harassment and shit, but that's just him trolling.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's trolling. That's all he was doing. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna give these niggas a reason to talk.
That's just trolling.
I don't get it. I don't understand how R&B singers can be first and foremost. That shit just does not add up to me. But speaking of shit, what's LA is like turning into a Wild Wild West right now with
GTA
with
Los Angeles.
Black Bane.
Yeah, GTA Los Angeles, man. And the good thing about, not the good thing, because
I was gonna say what?
Now hang on, some people have died, but this is still an ongoing story. Like, so basically, there's a cop in Los Angeles. His name is Dormer. We just call him Officer Dormer for now, so I get the first name. The guy got fired. It wasn't
Cool J's twin.
Yeah, he got fired X amount of years ago or whatever, and he just snapped, and he fucking wrote a manifesto riffing on cops, and he just started killing police officers. He's killed 2 police officers, and the prosecutor who prosecuted him when he was trying to, I forgot what he was trying to do, if he was trying to get reinstated or something or the other.
Yeah, he got basically kicked off the force. He said his training officer kicked someone, and they basically kicked him off the force and all of that shit. Said he, for making false statements, and it fucked his whole career up. He was in the Navy. He was a Navy reservist as well.
Yep, Chris Darner. And the guy's just been going GTA Los Angeles. The guy said he's like, nobody's safe. Your children, your families aren't safe. He said a lot of crazy shit in his manifesto, and he did say a lot of real shit. He basically exposed, things that we all know happened within various police departments, LA being one of the bigger ones, but we just never talk about it, saying how there's corrupt cops, and speaking specifically about corruption within the police force, and how he's going to end it himself. And, at the end of the day, this guy's going to end up dead. Yeah, they're not bringing this guy in alive, even if they find him alive. And I don't think he doesn't sound like the type of individual that's going to want to come in alive. Nope. So this guy's going to be found dead.
He's taking whoever comes after him with him.
Yeah, or he's going to try at least.
But didn't the cops shoot up some truck thinking that it was him?
Yeah, there was a truck with these two Mexican women or something or the other, and the truck kind of looked like his, so they shot it up, and then they asked questions, and it ended up being these 2 women inside or whatever. It's crazy.
And that just makes everything else worse from the perspective of the police, because it's bad enough people hate the cops anyway, more often than not.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't agree with at all. But that's another time for me to go on that rant. You and I have been through that a million times, you know what I mean? But this it gives them another reason. Like, even for this dude, if he has like a cult following, quote unquote, like, where people sympathize with his cause, quote unquote, his crusade, if you want to call it that, which is what he sees it as. Them shooting innocent people just is adding fuel to the fire. Like, you're already in trouble, so to speak, for, not protecting and serving, being corrupt, doing whatever you want to, abusing power, and you shoot 2 innocent people and then ask questions, yeah, that's making it so much worse. Like, and I wonder what the precedent is going to be if people are going to take after this guy and be like, you know what, this is a good idea. Let me join his movement, quote unquote. You know, let me join his movement. So then you got 2 fucking crazy ass people or 3 crazy ass people. Next thing you know, this dude fucking gathers up like a mini rebel army or some shit like that. You know, I'm not saying it will happen, but stranger things have.
Yeah.
This dude's probably hiding up in the mountains.
I don't.
So he said that he will use every inch, every ounce of his weapons training, demolitions training, and survival training to make those people pay.
At the same time, he also said that he fucking has shoulder-to-air missiles to defend against warships. So he ain't exactly all there.
I mean, I would believe him more so with using... Because, I mean, you can make a bomb out of some shit hanging around the house. But I don't know if the fuck you gonna have a fucking... Talking like you got RPGs and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't know about all that. He could be just, gassing himself up.
I'm sure he has a couple of guns, being a cop and a Navy guy.
I'm sure he's got some semi-automatic weapons.
I'm sure he's gunned up.
Pistols, some shotguns. I'm sure he's armed to the fucking teeth.
I'm sure he's armed up.
Yeah, so he's gonna die anyway. I wonder, they need to have some collie cash on letting people pick the date of when old boy is gonna get hemmed up. So, BK, Brooke, I know y'all gonna be listening, so hook that up and throw some my way, even though I don't use it. Alright, so you got any dumbass Craigslist deals for the week?
Not really, not this week. I've been slow on Craigslist lately.
I have one and I can't open my link.
Hang on, I should be able to open it. You have to click it like twice. You have one that's the Evo 4G for $140.
Yeah, dog.
It's a HTC. You know what's funny? This looks like one of those fake things because they're using a stock photo.
Yeah, probably. I saw that and I was like, what the fuck?
$140 for the Evo 4G. Like brand new. Comes with charger in great condition.
Mm-hmm. That ain't even the LTE one.
That's
the OG Evo. That shit ain't even worth $100.
Yeah, that's like I was saying before. You can get if you're gonna go that route, you can fucking get the new Nexus 4 for $50 from fucking T-Mobile before you spend that that much amount of money.
The other one was gold. The other one was that G2X, right?
Which one?
The second, I have 2 links in there.
The second link opens up to the same thing though. Hang on.
Oh, for real? Damn. There was one. Remember we were talking about the G2X?
No, I'm sorry. The second link opens up to a G2. What the fuck is wrong with the screen? What is on the screen? A G2X. Let me see. Specs.
That phone was a piece of shit. But weren't they asking like $120 for it?
They want for this thing. They want $230.
Yeah, for a G2X.
And it has some like ridiculous. Why does it have that clip? Is that just me or why? You see that weird? Did you see that weird clip it has on it?
I don't even know, man.
Yeah, it was $230. Fucking shit. You can, like I said before,
they stopped making that phone.
You can fucking get what? Let me see. You can get a damn. Like I said before, you put $20 more, you can get a brand new Samsung Chromebook for that much. That's laptop price right now. They don't even
make that. The crazy thing is that phone was such a piece of shit. They just, oh man, I don't know what these fucking people are going off on, but I don't know, dog. That was pretty rough. I saw that and I literally just stared at my computer screen for a good 5 minutes. Like, do you know something that we don't like? Are you not aware about this phone? Like, we were just talking about it a couple weeks ago when we were talking about LG and shit. Like,
you know what it is? People try to get people. I don't know what makes the internet want to try people's. Everybody thinks they're the smartest person. Especially when they have like little smartphones like this, like, you know what? And they'll find, that's crazy, they will find somebody, maybe not for $230, but they will find somebody to sell that phone to for $200, $150, and that other poor sap thinks they're getting a good deal on it.
Yeah. And that phone is not worth anything. Like, you couldn't give me that phone because of all the problems that it had. Fuck that shit. I don't have any L's for this week besides Manchester City just getting smacked 3-1. So I can indirectly take that L for wanting them to win. But LA is really taking an L right now too. If we want to go there, everybody on high alert. But that's just not really that funny. It's kind of sad actually. But I'm a dick, so oh well. So let's go to Netflix recommendations.
Yeah, man. You want to start off this week?
Yeah, I'll start off. Mine is a movie called The Football Factory. I was just talking about soccer, ironically, that this is my Netflix recommendation. Pretty much this movie takes place like in the mid-2000s in London, and it's about this crew of Chelsea fans. Chelsea is a English Premier League team in West London, pretty popular team. And pretty much this crew goes around and fights other soccer teams' crews. So that's what they do. And it's based on a true story. And this is what they do. They go to other towns or other parts of town. London has like 6 or 7 teams, so it's all different neighborhoods, West London, South London, whatever, and they go 15, 20 of them go meet up with 20 of the other guys, and they all start a fucking brawl just because they're fans of each other's teams. But this one is about this guy. He's 20-something, and like his grandfather was a war hero, and his grandfather and his best friend lived like in separate apartments in the same building, and they took care of each other.
Yeah.
So his grandfather and his friend are moving to Australia, just to kind of escape all the bullshit in England and, retire in the sun. And a bunch of shit starts hitting the fan. This dude, the main character and his best friend, they meet these chicks at the club, and they go to their house, and they bone these chicks, and they wake up in the morning, and the girl's brother's like holding the knife to the dude's neck. And he's like, oh, you're a Chelsea fan, da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, the main character comes back and smacks the dude with a cricket bat.
Shit.
And, like, puts dude, like, in a coma. Well, it turns out that the dude that runs their crew, does deals, drug deals and shit, with a dude from South London. And the fact that this dude's, like, one of those guys you don't really want to fuck with. So he's like, yeah, I think it was his cousin or something like that. And he's like, my cousin, some dude smacked him with a cricket bat, and we don't know if he's going to be okay. And the leader of the crew doesn't know that it was his boy, So he's like, shit, well, I hope they find the dude that did it, and give him, what he deserves, whatever. So Chelsea ends up drawing with Millwall, which is the team from South London, and it's this big time ancient rivalry, and everybody's like getting ready, knuckling up on some like Gangs of New York type shit. And they're looking for the main character, and they know his name, but he lies about his name. So this whole time they're looking for him because they're pretty much gonna fuck him up. And that's how that whole dynamic starts. But dude like starts having crazy ass dreams, like he's gonna die, and like everything, like the shit's gonna hit the fan like really badly, and he starts getting real paranoid and shit. And just like all the stuff that goes on with his character, his friends in the crew, like there's some fucking crazy ass dudes. So
they don't play with that shit over there.
No, they really don't. Dudes be getting fucked up in this movie. But it's pretty good. I give it, if there was subtitles, I would probably give it 3.5 out of 5. But the fact that it took me forever to understand what the fuck they were saying because of the, their heavy accents,
mm-hmm.
I give it a good 3. It's pretty entertaining. So take my 3 with a grain of salt. It was really entertaining. I would recommend it. Yeah, so I give it 3.5, depending on how I feel. If you can understand thick English accents, then yeah, by all means. But it's pretty funny. There's a lot of fuckery in it, a lot of stupid ass comedy, and of course, dudes getting their asses beat. The end fight is like 50 on 50.
Shit.
Yes, sir.
No, so, is that an older movie or is that a newer movie?
No, I think it was made in like 2004.
I think I've seen like a YouTube clip of that big ass fight before.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. Dudes are like walking through town, meeting up with little pieces, 4 or 5 guys from this town, from this neighborhood, 4 or 5 guys from this neighborhood, and they all just meet up. and meet up with the dudes from South London, and they start getting it in. It's wild. So, the Football Factory is my Netflix recommendation for the week.
That's crazy. My recommendation for this week is the new HBO, the new Netflix original series called House of Cards. And I mean, I can say it stars Kevin Spacey and it has a bunch of other second-rate good actors. And I can basically sum this up. If you guys remember, I believe that was season 4 or 5 of The Wire when they really went deep into politics and the corruption of politics. Just imagine a whole show based on that on fucking steroids. Like, just souped the fuck up. Like, this shit is good. Like, this shit is good. It just deals with him outmaneuvering other politicians. Because what happens is the show starts in the elections of 2000. Well, it starts with a new president being elected to start in 2013. Kevin Spacey's character is a member of Congress from, I forgot where, I want to say it was Washington. And anyway, he thought he was going to get the nomination and be chosen as the Secretary of State. They end up choosing somebody else as Secretary of State. So pretty much, I've seen only the first 3 episodes. I'm probably going to go through like 4 after we get off of here. Is him screwing over other politicians just because. Like, he doesn't even want that position anymore, but just because they didn't give him that position, just him screwing over politicians. And it's a lot of good fucking acting all the way through. Netflix did their fucking thing with this. Yeah, Netflix did. I'm 3 episodes in, and Netflix did their thing with this fucking show, all the way fucking through. And again, I'm not gonna spoil it too much because I really want you guys to actually go out and see it for your fucking selves. It's that good. But I mean, between Arrested Development and this show, Netflix, they're setting the standard, man. They are really, really. Oh, and they have the show Lilyhammer also. 3
I gotta watch that shit too.
It's good. I mean, they're really setting the standard here. And something that actually I don't like, it's not anything to do exactly with the premise of the show, is that they put all 13 episodes up. I'm not, not that I like to wait every week to see a new episode, but I think, maybe release 2 episodes a week or something would have been good for them. But really, you can sit here and binge on all 13 episodes, and the problem with this is you don't know when the new season's going to come up. Like Lilyhammer, what happened with Lilyhammer, season 1, I want to say, went up maybe September or before September. We still haven't got season 2 yet. And it was the highest rated show ever in New Zealand, which was where it was filmed. And same thing, Arrested Development, aren't they? They've been taking a while to get the new season out. So, it kind of leaves you fiending, especially if you sit down for 2-3 days, you watch it all. Now you're just like, what the fuck? I gotta wait months to watch the new one. But who knows? Maybe that's the new direction that shows are going in. But Netflix definitely did work with this show. It's not there's drama every show, and you're waiting to see what move these other guys are gonna do. He has tons of people on payroll. He has this other congressman from Philadelphia who's like hooked on coke and shit, and he has him like a little errand boy doing shit, or he's gonna expose him. Yeah, real good shows. That's my Netflix pick of the week. It's House of Cards, and that's a 5 out of 5 pick for me.
Yeah, I actually just started watching it. I think I'm on the 3rd episode, the one with the peach.
Yes, that's the third. That's the last one I finished.
I didn't finish watching it. I gotta finish watching it. But this motherfucker be making moves.
Watch how he ends that episode. That episode, I thought they had him. The only
thing that I don't like about the show is how he talks to the camera. Like, he breaks the 4th wall, I guess they call it.
Oh, I actually like that. I like that. Like what they do with the text messaging. You see what they do with the text messaging?
The text messaging is dope, but I mean, like, when he turns and looks, like, does the Zach Morris shit.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's just weird to me, but it's dope. Like, the whole concept of the show is dope. Like, he just do be making moves. So, yeah, I definitely co-sign that pick. You got any shout-outs before we hop off of here?
Just shout out to everybody at the Kali. If you guys go on the Kali.com, I got a new interview up with an up-and-coming rapper from Brooklyn called Dime a Dozen. You guys check out my interview with him, and just shout out to everybody at the Kali, man.
Yeah, real quick, I just want to give a quick plug for my man Cole Cash. Check out his new album. It's on thekali.com. In the boot section, it's called Price of Glory. Cole's a dope ass DJ. He took a bunch of samples from this old boxing movie. It's an instrumental album. He took footage, press conferences and stuff, and basically put it all into an instrumental album to give this vintage boxing feel. He's a big boxing fan. Good friend of mine. Support the homie Cole Cash, The Price of Glory. Shout out to him. I gotta actually continue to listen to it, but it's dope. Nice grimy feel to it. Shout out to all the new listeners that we picked up last week. A lot of our Twitter fam weren't even up on our show because of our hiatus. So shout out to all of you guys. It'll take me forever to name all of y'all, but you know who I'm talking about. And shout out to the homie Gabby who couldn't make it on today, but she'll be back again soon.
Yes, sir.
So definitely looking forward to having her back on. And everybody else that listening, sorry about last week. Shit gets real sometimes, but we'll be back. So for Danny, I'm Judd. This is GeekSet Radio, and we out.